Hello there. So this is a bit of a blog, a vlog I guess I'm doing of me assembling and getting parts for my BigDelta. And I'm doing this because I've actually missed a bit of video documentation and just general videos of the machine in action. So yeah, it would have. I've been waiting for parts, and in the time I've been waiting for parts, I haven't been able to do much with printer wise, and I've been really excited. So I've just wanted to watch some videos, and I figured, well, I'll try and make those when I can. So I have some printed parts here. This is the Effector, and I figured I'd do a video on this because I just got my hotend today. This is a original J-head Mark 8. You can get those sometimes if you ask nicely from hotends.com. And yeah, I just prefer them because you can see they use a heater cartridge instead of a resistor. It fits very nice and snug and has a grub screw from back here that goes in and locks it in place. And then it has an actual thermistor that goes through the block so that the leads bend nice around and it's tidy, and I really like that as well. So no captain tape is needed. You just pull up the wires like that. There's with the J-head here, the cartridge with plenty long wires. Holy shit! The thermistor, just the thermistor. I put these wires on because they're purple and they match my ABS. And some PTFE tubing that goes over the leads of the thermistor. And then I just put that. I left about 4mm of room on the thermistor to solder wires to it, and then I put some adhesive lined heat shrink over it. So we'll see how that holds up. So this Effector here, it's just the standard Effector you get off of GitHub for the BigDelta. I had a real bear getting this on. I don't know if that's actually a saying. It's something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure if I remember correctly. But yeah, that was annoying. That's mostly because my printer overshoots a bit, and I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you might be able to see that if I do this down here. But basically, the hotend would sit a bit too tall, so the holes for the screws wouldn't line up properly. So I had to go in with a knife and scrape off some of the slot that goes into the slot on the J-head. And when I got that to sit sufficiently low enough that I could get the screws in, it wasn't deep enough, the groove. So I had I thought, well, okay, screw this. I'm just going to heat this up with my hot air gun. So I did that. I heated this up 125 degrees for a while, and then I tightened it down, and there's a slight bulge now for the J-head, but I guess that's form fit. Yeah, some tips for this when you're assembling it. For the J-head, I would put it like this, with the thermistor up top, because that gives you, well, not the thermistor, the heater cartridge up top, because that gives you a lot of space for the length of it, and some clearance around it. I would also put it so that when you're looking at the J-head from the bottom, it looks like this, with the wires coming out this side. Because if the wires come out the other side, you're going to have some trouble with the blower fan that you're putting on there. And yeah, and then the thermistor wires there, they just come up. They're fine, they're fairly thin and they'll fit. So I'll just show you here with the heater cartridge wires over here, which are fairly thick. If I put this on here, it's a bit bent like this, but not a lot. It's very little, and it actually sits there very nicely. If you have the cables over here, however, you basically won't be able to fit it down here because of the thickness of this insulation. But this fits, and yeah, fits nicely. It's a nice unit. It's solid. It doesn't go anywhere. So the only thing I need now for this hotend is my PVC fittings and my fan, and it should be ready to go. Except I think I will print. I'm not quite entirely sure if I print a new entire Effector, or if I'll just print a small glue-on mount until I get my lacy-ass off, I don't know, I forgot what that saying was that I was going for. Anyways, and just print some sort of glue thing on it before I print a full-on new effector. I might print a new effector on the new printer actually to test the dimensional accuracy and see how much easier that goes together. Hopefully a lot easier. Anyways, this is, as you might recognize, a infrared height probe. Triggers at about 2 millimeters to the bed. And I was looking at this a bit and I thought it might fit in here, but that's awfully close to something that's hotter than the melting temperature of the solder, and this isn't rated for that temperature, so yeah, I don't really feel like modding the air channel in here either. So all in all, I figured it would be less hassle if I just went for something like this, because I found out this fits pretty nicely in here. If I take a knife to this and just cut a small channel, this will actually slot up here, and it will fit pretty nicely up there. Actually, you'll probably want to look at it like this. It will fit pretty nicely there. So then I'm gonna look into smoothie wire. I'm gonna see if there is a parameter for setting an X and Y offset from the probing sensor to the hot end tip. If there is, yeah, I'm just gonna use that. If there isn't, I'm gonna look at how hard that would be to add in source code, and adding that as a feature, because people always say put it as close to the hot end as possible. I guess that also has to do with alignment of the hot end, because it might not be entirely same height when you move it around. But I'm gonna see if there's an XY offset, because I think that's gonna be fine for my use. And if there's not, I'm gonna try and add it, because open source, yoo-hoo. So I think that's about it that I have to say about this hot end. For real now. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.